If you're dreaming of wandering through charming European streets, tasting delicious cuisines, and soaking in rich histories, you're not alone. But before you pack your bags, there are some common mistakes that could turn your dream vacation into a nightmare. In today's video, I'll cover the most common mistakes that are made when planning for a European trip and what you should do instead to ensure your trip is as smooth and enjoyable as possible. So let's dive in and make sure you have the vacation of a lifetime. Let's go.
Dream vacations start here.
The first mistake that people make when booking a hotel in Europe is not realizing that there are quite a few hotels and Airbnbs that don't have air conditioning. This can be a huge problem if you plan to travel during the summer months, especially after spending a day walking around in hot and humid weather, only to return to a stuffy, unair-conditioned room to try and cool off and sleep. When searching for hotels to stay at in Europe, make sure you filter the search results to include air conditioning properties to ensure you have a comfortable stay. The second mistake is not buying tickets to popular attractions ahead of time. Are you planning on buying tickets to bucket list sites like the Colosseum, the Louvre, or the Eiffel Tower? So is everyone else. It's best to plan in advance and buy tickets ahead of time for popular attractions in Europe, as many do sell out during the peak season. Even if tickets are still available, reserving in advance will generally allow you to skip the long lines that come with buying a walk-up entry. The third mistake is not protecting yourself from identity theft, which leads me to today's sponsor for this video, which is Aura. This is a really important time to be talking about them because hackers may have stolen the social security numbers of every American. Over 2.9 billion records were stolen from the National Public Data, which provides personal information to employers and others doing background checks. These stolen records include a person's full name, address, date of birth, phone number, and most importantly, social security number. And members of the hacker group have reportedly released this information for free online. I remember being a victim of identity theft myself while traveling on an international trip where someone pickpocketed my wallet. They then tried to use the information inside my wallet to open new credit cards and even make purchases with my existing debit and credit cards. Luckily, I still had my passport, but it left me spending hours of my time trying to resolve the situation. If you weren't taking precautions with your personal information online before, this would be a huge wake-up call. You've never been more vulnerable online than you are right now. But nowadays, I'm not too worried because I use Aura. Aura monitors your personal data, including your social security number, across billions of data points like the dark web and public court records to detect and alert you to potential identity theft. They give you up to $5 million in identity theft insurance should the worst case scenario happen. They also provide a bunch of other features to keep you safe online, all inside one app. You can go to my link aura.com/benthoennes to try 14 days for free. That'll be enough time for Aura to find out if any of your personal data is exposed. I highly recommend you do this now because not only is the National Public Data not going to do anything to help you, they probably aren't even going to face any repercussions for this leak. I'm not leaving myself and my family vulnerable to data breaches, and if you don't want to either, you can go to aura.com/benthoennes to try 2 weeks for free. The fourth mistake that could ruin your European vacation is not reserving seats on trains. Just because you have tickets on a European train doesn't mean you have a seat. Many train lines, including ones on the Eurail, will allow you to make seat reservations in order to secure a spot to sit. However, if you didn't make a seat reservation, you could be left standing in the aisles for a long trip. Another mistake that people make, especially those of us who live in the US, is not carrying coins in order to use the bathrooms. As Americans, we're used to using public bathrooms within our own country for free. However, in Europe, most public bathrooms require you to pay a fee to use it. Many bathrooms are accessible via turnstile, where we need to insert coins in order to pass through. So you need to carry a variety of coins in order to access the bathroom. If there happens to be a bathroom attendant, you are usually expected to leave a tip, so having some coins will be handy. The sixth mistake that is commonly made is mixing up airports. Many European cities have multiple airports, so booking a connecting flight that departs from the wrong airport can be an easy and costly mistake to make. London, for example, has 6 major airports. If you plan on flying into London on one airline and then book a connecting onward flight on a budget airline on a separate ticket, it's a good possibility that you could fly into Heathrow on one flight and then have your connecting flight out of Stansted, which is more than an hour's drive away from Heathrow. Make sure you're carefully checking your airport codes before you commit to booking your flights to avoid ending up in a tough situation. The seventh mistake not to make when traveling around Europe is relying on taxis. If you have never experienced public transportation in Europe, you'll be surprised how well run and efficient they are. You'll find that it'll be significantly cheaper and faster than taking a taxi. Before traveling, however, make sure to download public transportation maps and compare prices for buying multi-day passes to see if it's worth it. By taking public transportation, you'll save time and money and experience the city more like a local would. The eighth mistake not to make is not packing the right clothes. Even though European summers can be rather hot, you'll want to pack more than just shorts and t-shirts for your trip. If you're planning to visit any cathedrals or historic religious sites, you will be required to follow a strict dress code that will require you to cover your shoulders and knees. Packing lightweight cover-ups and long-sleeve shirts can help you be prepared. Also, don't make the mistake of packing only stylish shoes or even new shoes that haven't been broken in yet. Wearing comfortable shoes will be key, as you'll most likely be walking far more in Europe than you would in any other destination. Make sure you check out the video description and click on the link to get your free 14-day trial of Aura to protect yourself and your family from identity theft. Also, if you're thinking about planning an international trip and want to know the best way to plan for it, check out the International Trip Planning Toolkit that was created by me, giving you a detailed step-by-step guide on how to do just that. Check out the video description to learn more. Thank you so much for watching this one, and I look forward to seeing you in a future video.